Welcome to Reading with Nana, and hi to my returning friends. Today's story is called Little Cliff's First Day of School. It's written by Clifton Talbert, and the paintings are by E.B. Lewis. Today, we have a lot of kids going to school. They start this week, and it's a little different than getting up, getting dressed, and being dropped off at school by parents or mom or riding the bus. But the feelings of your first day of school have been the same for you. They were the same for your parents. They were the same for your grandparents. The first day of school is exactly what it is, the first day of school. This is a story that took place a long time ago, so you'll notice the clothes are different. But again, the first day of school, no matter when it happened, you still have the feelings of the first day of school. Excitement, afraid, mixed emotions is what we call it. Until you've gone through that day and you can make up your mind or make a decision about how your first day of school really was. How well do you make it through the day? Tomorrow was the first day of school in Cliff's little town. His great grandmother, Mama Pearl, was very happy. His great grandfather, Papa Joe, was also happy. Their faces were all smiled as they laid out Cliff's new clothes on their big iron bed: blue jeans, a plaid woolen shirt, brown shoes, a pair of knee-high stockings, and a green corduroy cap with long flaps. The calendar and said September, so Mama Pearl ignored the hot Delta sun and dressed little Cliff for the fall. School used to start in September for people Nana's age. The whole house was happy, except for little Cliff. He didn't want to go to Miss Maxie's school. He didn't want to wear knee-high stockings or the new cap with the long flaps. He wanted to stay home with his great-grandparents, just as he'd done all his life. When Mama Pearl said it was time to try on his new brown shoes, Cliff pretended that he couldn't get them on. He sat in the big chair and pulled hard on the shoes, but they kept falling to the floor. Then he sat on the floor and lifted his feet high in the air and pretended to huff and puff. Mama, these shoes too little. I can't go to school now, he said. Too little? Why, boy, I could get two of y'all in them shoes, Mama Pearl said. She stood over little Cliff and pointed her finger at the shoes on the floor. Cliff, don't step on my nerves. Now you get them shoes on right now. Cliff knew that when Mama Pearl stopped laughing, it was time to stop pretending. He slowly picked up the shoes, and just like that, they went on. You see, baby? Mama Pearl knew it. Them shoes was made for your 2 feet. Mama Pearl was happy again, but Cliff was still sad. He did not want to start first grade. Not one bit. All afternoon, little Cliff gathered his toys and placed them on the floor around his bed. As he put them side by side, he talked to each one: iron trains, trucks without wheels, a bow and arrow set, his shoebox full of marbles. I can't play with y'all no more. I gotta go to Miss Maxie's school way down the road, a million miles from here. I know you're gonna miss me, 'cause I will miss y'all already. By bedtime, he was worn out, but he could hardly sleep. He kept thinking about tomorrow. Mama Pearl said he would have to sit quietly and listen to the teacher, Mr. Boot Nanny. His neighbor had given him a new cornbread writing tablet with coarse brown sheets of paper and heavy black lines. His Sunday school teacher, Mother Bird, had given him 2 new lead pencils, but not before saying, "We expect you to work, work, work." Only big people like school, he thought. Finally, he covered his head with his quilt and went to sleep. The next morning, little Cliff was awakened by the smell of hot grits and cured ham. His new clothes were waiting for him on his chair. He dressed slowly, finally pulling on his knee-high stockings and brown shoes. Then he quietly walked out to the sun porch. "Ah, baby, you look so good to Mama," his great-grandmother said as she looked him over from head to toe. Papa Joe patted him on the head as he placed his breakfast plate in front of him. Cliff sat down, but he only picked at his food. Papa, I'm scared, he said. Oh, now there's nothing for Papa's little man to be scared of, his papa said. He looked at Mama Pearl, and they both shook their heads as if they didn't know what to do. Little Cliff lived down south, as we call Mississippi, Alabama, Tennessee, and they didn't start school until they were 6 years old. They went to first grade. There was no kindergarten. Little Cliff asked to be excused from the table. He ran to the backyard where he kept his number 3 tub parked under the side of the house. Kneeling on the ground, he pulled out the old tub. Number 3, my good old car gonna miss you. I'm gonna miss you. Can't drive to see the world anymore. Can't go round and round this big old house. I have to go to school and work, work, work. He rubbed the tub on its shiny sides and then walked over to his favorite China berry tree. The old tree was as tall as the house, and little Cliff had played in it as long as he could remember. He loved it most of all in the summertime, when the leaves were bright and shiny and so thick he could hide from the sun. He would sit on the strong lower branch, gather handsful of the hard green china berries, and throw them at all the chickens that crossed his path. Today, Cliff looked up the big branch that seemed to be bending down to hear him speak. I'll miss you, old tree, so tall and small and strong. I have to go to school and be quiet, quiet, quiet. Baby, baby, Cliffy, where's you, boy? Mama Pearl called from the sun porch. Times are moving. You got to grab your new school stuff. Yes, sir. Mama's baby is going to be a little festive. Cliff climbed the back stairs and went into the sun porch, where both Papa Joe and Mama Pearl were waiting for him. Papa Joe gave him his new tablet and the 2 pencils, and Mama Pearl gave him his lunch bucket. Then little Cliff began to cry big tears that ran down his chubby face like raindrops. He didn't want to leave his great-grandparents and everything he loved. He didn't want to be a fessa. He just wanted to stay home. That's all right, son. You're going to be just fine. I feel it in my bones, said Papa Joe, giving him a big bear hug. Time to scat, boy. Little Cliff dragged his feet as he walked through the house. He dropped a pencil on the floor and tried to hide his green corduroy cap, but Mama Pearl was right behind him, picking up his pencil and grabbing the cap from under the chair. As Cliff opened the screen door, Mama Pearl stopped him and pulled the cap over his head, tying the flaps tightly under his chin. Little Cliff stood on the front porch. He was all dressed and ready for school, but he didn't move. I better walk you to Miss Maxie's school myself, Mama Pearl said firmly. She took his hand and led him down the tall steps and into the front yard. Cliff broke free and scooted right up under the house. When the sun was real hot, he liked to play there near the base of the chimney where the air was cool and the dirt was soft. But today he was not playing. He was hiding. Mama got on her knees and called, Cliffy boy, you better get here this very minute. I told Miss Maxie you'd be at school, and true to my word, boy, you're going to be there if I have to load you on my back. Come on out of there right now. When Cliff heard right now, he knew Mama Pearl meant business, so he crawled out from under the house. He was all covered with spider webs and dirt. Mama Pearl dusted him clean with her palm. Then she grabbed his hand and headed down the blacktop road to Miss Maxie's school. Cliff clung tightly to his great-grandmother. Though a big boy, he walked close to her, even trying to hide his face in her big apron. As they drew near the school, he heard the sounds of laughter and dogs barking. He pulled his head from behind Mama Pearl's apron. There were all his friends, dressed for the first day of school. His cousin Bobby, his friend Frank, Mr. Will's grandson, Miss Laura's boy Bubba, and Laughing Earl from up the road. Everyone seemed to shout at once. Hey, Cliffy, you gonna sit by me? Cliff, what you got in your lunch bucket? You wanna swap? I brought my bat. We're gonna play baseball at recess. Did you bring your new ball? Cliff could hardly believe his eyes and ears. All he'd heard about school was work, 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 and quiet, quiet, quiet. Nobody told him you could have fun at school. He quickly dropped Mama Pearl's hand, jerked off his green cap, and ran ahead to meet his friends. Mama Pearl laughed. Cliffy, she yelled, the schoolhouse is in front of you, not over there. When he looked back, she held up his lunch bucket, the tablet, the pencils, and the cap. Give them to the teacher, he yelled. This is a fun place after all. Miss Maxie was standing beyond the big open doorway of the white wooden building. She spoke to Mama Pearl and smiled as she placed Little Cliff's lunch and supplies in the pile that was growing around her feet. As Mama Pearl walked away, Cliff ran to hug her and was surprised to see her wiping the corner of her eyes on her apron. Mama, why you crying? He asked. You want to go to school? No. Now Mama Pearl was laughing and crying. She reached down and gave Little Cliff a big, big hug. No, no, baby. Mama can't stay. I am just so happy we made it to school on our first day, she said. Little Cliff waved and ran back to play. Mama Pearl stood at the edge of the schoolyard, holding the green corduroy cap in her hands. She stood for a while and watched the children playing, her face beaming with pride. Then, slowly, she made her way home. And Little Cliff, now laughing with his friends, went inside the schoolhouse to learn. I hope you enjoyed the story. It's a different type of first day of school in a different place a long time ago. Click like or subscribe. See you next time.